I just recently made a video called "We Need to Talk About Jamal Musiala," and unfortunately, we need to now have another conversation about Jamal Musiala and the current health issues that he is having. He did release a statement about this himself. I will show you the statement, read it to you, and we will discuss everything that's going on with Jamal Musiala, what this means for his career. This is, again, a serious, serious conversation that we need to be having about Jamal Musiala. First and foremost, happy he's okay. Happy he, as you'll see by his statement, he seems to be okay. If you don't know, Jamal Musiala has collapsed on the pitch twice now in a matter of 3 days. I'm recording this video a day after the friendly against Heidenheim. I wanted to give myself a little bit more time to process this. I didn't want to just come on here and make a really rash reaction. I wanted more time for information to come out. I actually wanted to read about what he said his condition is, and I've done that. So, of course, I'm going to preface this video with this. I'll probably say this throughout, but I am not a doctor. Believe the doctors before you believe me. I'm just a guy, honestly, sitting here talking into a microphone. But I want to talk about this situation because it's so important to Bayern Munich. This is obviously a Bayern Munich channel along with Chelsea. Jim, the Chelsea fan, covers Chelsea. I cover Bayern Munich, so that's what I'm doing. This is a massive, massive just issue going forward for the club. But yes, Jamal Musiala, in the friendly against Leipzig, we saw him kind of start to fall back and put out his arms like he was trying to brace himself. And then luckily, Ismail Saibari, who was on the pitch at the same time. Saibari, if you didn't know, had a very dear friend collapse on the pitch and actually, I believe, is now paralyzed. Definitely can no longer play soccer, but did survive. So Saibari has been familiar with this, and he was there. He was on the scene. He rushed over to catch Jamal before he completely fell over and collapsed and hit the ground. He was on the ground for a bit, seemingly unconscious, but we don't really know. Definitely in an altered state of consciousness, I guess you could say. And then I believe it was 3 days later, because it was Tuesday and the Leipzig match was Saturday. Tuesday against Heidenheim, Jamal Musiala comes onto the pitch, is only on for like less than 10 minutes, and collapses again. This time we couldn't see it. We don't know exactly how it happened. The cameras weren't on him, but he was laying on the ground. Medical staff rushed over. Harry Kane calls everybody up to kind of surround him. And we don't, again, know what happened, seemingly unconscious or in an altered state of consciousness. The first time it happened against Leipzig, super, super hot. And, Bayern didn't say anything about it. Jamal didn't say anything about it. Kind of chalked it up to heat stroke. A lot of people did, at least. And then you have this again. I was very upset that he played this match. Again, if it was heat stroke or if it was something like that, if you get heat stroke once, you're more susceptible to get it again. So I was like, what are we doing playing him, risking his health in another match so soon after? That was my initial reaction. But then Jamal Musiala comes out after the match with this statement that I will share with you right here on his Instagram. This is the translation. So there may be, and this actually might be very important, there may be some missing words or some altered words in this English translation from his post, which was originally in German. The post says, "First things first, I'm doing well. Above all, I'm incredibly grateful for all of your messages and your support. I understand that many of you are worried. I want to put those concerns to rest today and explain a little more. I have been diagnosed with brief, temporary episodes of absence that are easily treatable and are caused by a neurological dysfunction." Now, I'm going to jump in here and just say, I don't know if this is specific enough. I don't know if this is lost in translation. People are saying that what he means here is temporary episodes of absence. There is such a thing called absence seizures. Now, the German translation doesn't include the word seizure, but we're assuming that he means absence seizures. And that's what I've been trying to read about as much as possible in the last however many, over 24 hours at this point, but the last day. I've been trying to read about absence seizures, assuming that's what he's talking about. Now, continuing on with Jamal's quote, these can lead to the moments that have occurred recently, such as against Leipzig and now in Heidenheim. I know that they may seem scary at first glance, but for me, they are currently simply part of my everyday life. I am receiving the best possible medical care in this regard, and I am very optimistic. FC Bayern and the people closest to me are always by my side and supporting me on this journey. What is important is that there is no additional health risk beyond this. In close consultation and regular communication with the specialists, it was my personal wish to face this challenge and, with the approval of the neurological specialists, to continue doing what helps me most in my recovery. Simply living my everyday life and continuing to pursue my passion of playing football. I have taken responsibility for that decision. Overall, I have a very good feeling and I am on a good path. What helps me most along the way is continuing to chase victories and titles with my team with your incredible support. I hope this helps you understand me better. At the same time, I ask for your understanding that I would like to continue keeping this matter within the circle of my closest confidants, the club, and the experts. Thank you very much. Yours, Jay, with a heart. That's at the end there. And then there's this wonderful picture of him clapping for the fans. So there's a lot to unpack here. And again, I'm not a doctor, but I can tell you what I've read and watched in the past day and a half about absence seizures and this type of thing in general. So this quote, it's Jamal. Again, I don't know how good spirits he really is in. This has to be incredibly, incredibly mentally tough for him. It seems like he's in good spirits. If we take his quote at face value, he seems like he's doing okay, which is good, which is great. I think this is him trying to answer a lot of questions, but this quote gives me more questions, and it's why I don't think we truly are maybe ever going to get to the bottom of this. But there are some things here, like he says, this is part of my everyday life. Well, the question I have is, when did this start? Has this always been part of your everyday life? Has this been part of your everyday life since maybe your surgery that you had, obviously the horrible foot injury that we all know so much about? I mean, there are rare cases of people, being put under for surgeries and then that altering their brain chemistry and altering, their brains and just causing neurological issues. That's a rare thing. I don't know if that's when this happened. He was also in a car accident. I don't want to speculate too much on that, but was that what caused this? Or maybe did this cause his car accident? Did he have one of these absence periods while he was driving? Like, I don't know. And like everyday life, is it really every day? Does this happen every day? Like I'm genuinely asking, I'm not sure. And if it does, this is the first times we've seen this on the football pitch, which seems too coincidental to me. I mean, how much of Jamal Musiala's life has he been playing football? And all of a sudden it happens legitimately 2 times in a row, like 10 minutes after he comes on the pitch. I don't know. Like I don't know when all this started. Now, and I think that would help us understand more about it and maybe get to the bottom of it. Now, speaking about absence seizures, again, I don't know if that's actually what he has, because again, not a doctor, everything I can find about absence seizures, it doesn't seem like that is exactly the right way to describe what's going on with Jamal Musiala. It definitely could be some type of epileptic seizure that he's having, and I would say that's probably likely. I mean, his neurologists are incredibly smart people. They're at the top of their game. You got to trust them. But absence seizures, from what I've read, are something that really, for the most part, happens in childhood. It's extremely, extremely rare that it happens with adults. And the fact that, again, like, I'm assuming this is a more recent development for him because, like, how could we not have seen this before? How could we not have known about this if this has been something that he's been dealing with since he was a kid? I don't know. I just don't know. And again, I don't want to do too much speculating, but um, I've watched videos of kids, because they're kids, having absence seizures, and it doesn't look like what we saw with Jamal Musiala. What I've been seeing, and it affects everybody differently, I'm sure. Everybody's brains are different, of course. But what I've been seeing is these kids having these absence moments. They basically just kind of look like they're staring off into space and somebody's trying to get their attention, and nothing's happening. And then after a few moments, they kind of just snap back into it, and it appears to them that they have no recollection of what just happened. With Jamal, like, especially against Leipzig, the one that we saw, he's like putting out his arms, and like, that's called posturing. What you're doing with his arms there, he's posturing, and then he like faints, like he's falling backwards. Like, in what I've seen from these kids having absence seizures, they're just kind of staring off into space. They're not like actually fainting, but like Jamal is like actually like falling down, and these kids are in an altered state of consciousness where it looks like Jamal might even be unconscious. So regardless, like, is that exactly what he's having? Is that a lost in translation thing? I don't know, and I don't think that's important. What is important is Jamal Musiala's health, and how he's gonna get better from this, how he's gonna recover from this, because we want him to play football again. But first and foremost, we want Jamal Musiala to have a healthy life, a healthy, happy life. And yeah, I just don't know. I mean, this just raises so many questions for me. You know, how long did Bayern Munich know about this? Was the Ismail Saibari attacking midfielder transfer this summer because the club knew about this and has serious doubts about Musiala's future? Is the fact that Bayern just covered off their entire training pitch and barricaded it up so nobody can get any insight into seeing anything that's happening in training? Has he been fainting in training? Is that why they did that? Like, there's a lot of questions that that come to me when I know a little bit more now from this quote from Jamal Musiala. But the most important thing is that he's healthy. And there's a lot of ways to look at this from a health perspective, right? Like, obviously it appears, and I'm going to believe his doctors, that there is no further health risk by him playing football. I'm going to believe that. He's not going to damage his brain anymore by playing football. I'm going to believe that. But what they are not taking into account, and what I do think I need to mention here, is what if he passes out and hits his head? What if he passes out and somebody steps on him? Somebody else gets hurt. Somebody kicks his head. Like, there's a million different things that can happen to you that can get you injured if you pass out while you're playing a professional sport, a high-level sport. And, while it may be okay for him, like, neurologically to play, I don't know if it's okay for him to be passing out on the football pitch within 10 minutes, because of these other risks that it provides to him and to others. And that's the sad thing about this, that's what is not being taken into account by these neurological evaluations of Jamal Musiala. And so he has to get this under control. And from what I've read about absence seizures, they can be managed with a proper, dosage of medication. And I'm sure that is a lot of trial and error. And I'm sure that's what his doctors are working tirelessly to figure out right now, the correct dosage. So hopefully he can just find that dosage and then just be fine. But like, I don't know. I think Bayern just has to be extremely cautious with him going forward if they want to, get anything out of his career now. If we're going to be talking about a footballing perspective, don't play him in the Super Cup. Just rest him. Let him rest as long as possible. And Jim brought this up in the video we just did about the Super Cup preview. Play him at Bayern too. Like, if that's what it's going to take to get his brain used to this, to get his body as well, probably just used to playing again, his mind and his body. Um, yeah, that's what you got to do. And like, don't worry about like rushing him back. Don't worry about these matches. Don't worry about the Super Cup. Don't worry about, any match really. I mean, if we're talking about his career, no match should come before his career, but especially any match in like the first half of the season, don't worry about it. Like, send him off somewhere, get him right. I know that for him, he's a competitor. He's going to want to play every match. And for him, he probably thinks playing is what's going to help him get better. And maybe that's true. I mean, again, not a doctor. But I just think like we really have to care for him, and we really have to get him better, because this is his career we're talking about at this point. It's not just a season. This is his life. This is his entire mental state. Like, it's scary stuff, and it's serious, and we got to take it seriously. And yeah, I mean, we want Jamal Musiala back, but like, it's not worth risking everything over. So I know this statement sounds very upbeat and positive, and I'm happy for him for that. But I also just wanted to give my thoughts here. And I don't want this video to necessarily go on for too much longer. But the only other thing I think I'll say is just, Jamal, I know you watch Always Bayern Chelsea. It might take you a few days to get around to this one. I understand you're busy. No, but like, Jamal, like, as Bayern fans, we all love you and we care deeply about you. We care about you as a person, as a player. So, take as much time as you need. Like, there's no pressure here. Just get yourself back. And we're always going to be supporting you no matter what. Your life comes first. And again, as a Bayern Munich supporter, we love you. So that's where I'm going to dip out of this one now. Appreciate you guys all for being here. And yeah, that's all. We'll see you for the Super Cup and as the season gets going. Mia san mia.